You're listening to the Blizzard Community Podcast, produced by geeks, for geeks. Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth.
We're doing this live.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Geeks of Azeroth, episode 188. My name's Tarly, and with me back from a 3-week hiatus, we've got Britza.
Hey.
And we've got Icarus.
Hello.
And it's time. It's another week. Another week in gaming. Blizzard gaming, non-Blizzard gaming, all sorts of gaming. What have we been playing? Britza, you've been the longest absent. We'll talk about.
And another week in knitwear. Let's not forget those who enjoy the occasional scarf being made and things like that. Especially this time of year.
Yes, of course.
I
assume that's what all Blizzard gamers do in times of less content. They just start knitting scarves.
Well, complete joke aside, I don't know why I started talking about knitwear, but doesn't the Orc statue gets covered in knitwear, doesn't it, this time of year? Don't the employees make scarves and stuff? Or don't fans send in scarves and things? I'm not sure. I've seen it somewhere. Katie from the Tauren and the Goblin made something to stick on the Orc statue out the front of Blizzard.
Yes. I for some reason thought you said the Statue of Liberty, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
You could give it a go, I guess. Maybe. But anyways, you asked me. Yeah, maybe next year. But we'll see. My 3-week the 3-week hiatus, to explain, I went to Japan. So, yeah, very, very little in the way of gaming. I went and wandered just around Japan for a few weeks, and ended up in the basement of a manga shop, and I've seen things that would give pretty much the old gods nightmares. I'm terrified. Yeah, when I say the experience changed me, I'm going to tell my friends at work tomorrow that the experience changed me. It's changed me, but in a very bad way. So
was it a work trip or a fun trip?
Fun trip. I've been talking about going to Japan for years, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I went out there. It was great. I had a great time out there. The weather was great. There were no earthquakes, which was a bonus. And yeah, now I'm back. But in terms of Blizzard gaming, I haven't actually done that much. But I will say this. So after I came back, I flew in on last Sunday, and I was spending 3 or 4 days in my hometown with family. And I didn't have my desktop. I don't have a laptop, but I do have an iPad. And I can tell you one thing. I really enjoyed.
You were wanting Diablo Immortal.
No. The point I was going to make was I was playing a bit of Hearthstone, and I really enjoyed having a game that I could just play when I wasn't around my desktop. Now, I'm sure there's an argument for laptops there, but I will say this. I did start to see the light that Blizzard is projecting when it comes to mobile gaming. And I without my tongue thrust very much in my cheek, I will say that I did actually enjoy having a mobile Blizzard game to play. So, but it has been just literally messing about on Hearthstone. I still don't know what I'm doing. And also my shop is stuck on the authentication window, so I can't even buy any more cards, which sucks.
Well, that's probably a good thing. I mean, just
yeah, so it doesn't work. My mobile game doesn't work, but apart from that, it was all right.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, like, Diablo 3 on Switch went on sale, so, of course, I impulsively had to get it.
Ooh.
And that's also a very good mobile Blizzard title. I gotta say, it works so fantastic on the Switch, so totally worth it. Yeah.
Can you pull the Joy-Cons off and, like, play like that? Because I feel like you wouldn't have enough buttons.
Oh, no, you can't play like...
Okay,
no.
You need, like, separate controllers.
It doesn't even have split-screen co-op. It's only, like,
Connect.
multi-system co-op. But, yeah, Icarus, what have you been up to this last week?
I have been going really hard into Heroes. When I got my placements, I wasn't Diamond in Hero League, and that bothered me, so I spent the last week just... Every single day I put like 10 games in and I finally got it. I'm Diamond 5 and I think I'm only going to play... Because when you hit Diamond you get like a rank degrade if you don't play in a certain amount of days. So now I'm only going to play when that gets to like 2 or 3 days and just be like, hope I win, but...
Just keep it ticking.
Yeah. Now, for some reason, I have a weird drive to keep pushing into my team league rating and get that up to diamond as well, since you can solo queue there as well.
Oh yeah, you can solo queue Team League. That's weird.
Yeah, I also picked up Orphea as one of the new heroes. Like,
Oh yeah.
I actually didn't like her at first because I never played her, and then I was like, oh my gosh, she's so fun. Like, you can queue somebody, dash in, use your W, and then hit them again with your Q and dash out, and they're just sitting there like, all right, I have nothing to do. Cool. And then you just like, that was my poke. Have fun. 6 more seconds, and I'm doing it again.
We're getting close to a new Heroes announcement, surely.
Well, we just got Orphea, so I mean,
I would say January, February, maybe.
yeah.
They might tease it, and then like 3 weeks later, they'll be like, here they are, and then we'll get it 2 weeks from there, I think. I think that's how it usually functions. Yeah.
All bets on it being a treasure goblin.
Yes.
I myself have been trying to push myself back into platinum and or back into. I've never been to platinum, but platinum in Overwatch. I keep getting close and then falling back down, but at least I'm staying in gold this time, not dropping back to silver. Maining Brigitte is like the only way to progress. So yes, hashtag Brigmain. I don't know if you guys have played comp Overwatch recently, but the GOATS meta is kind of crazy. DPS are pretty much unplayable. Just 3 tanks, 3 healers. That's the meta right now. It's very strange.
What?
Yeah.
3 tanks, 3 healers.
Yep. Because Brig is still so OP.
Is it just like one last hurrah, like everyone enjoy her while she lasts?
Right. Enjoy it till they nerf her. Yeah. So another game I wanted to talk about real quick before we hop into the news. Anthem, you know, that big scary game coming out from BioWare. Everybody expecting it to be terrible just because it's an EA game. And we're hoping it's not, because we love BioWare, of course, as RPG gamers. We want it to be a decent game and not totally kill BioWare as a studio. I feel a little bit more assured after I've only, like, keep in mind my opinions are based on less than 2 hours of time spent in the game. But so the closed alpha came out yesterday, and it was only available for very short windows of play. And so I got to play a little bit before work yesterday when the servers finally came on, and then a little bit this morning before hopping in the show. I gotta say, like, I mean, it says closed alpha, but the game comes out in February, so it's further along than you'd think for an alpha. The story sequences, at least what you get to see in the alpha, is kind of just like, from a BioWare game, it's less than I'd want. Like, I want more choices, dialogue options instead of just cutscenes, but we'll see. That could only be what they showed us in the alpha. The gameplay is super solid, guys. It feels really fun. It's like, if you remember Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, it's like mix that and your Iron Man. And it's super fun. It feels really good to play. So that at least kind of eases my mind about that game coming out. Like, now I just want to play it more. Like, I was playing it up until the point where we all hopped in a call. It's super fun.
I have one question about it.
Feels good.
I haven't downloaded the alpha yet, although I should and try it now that you say so. Can you, like, switch suits on the fly, or do you need to, like, is it like Destiny where you have to go back to
Yeah, you have to be in the public space to switch suits, but still, I mean, again, that's just barely any gameplay impressions that I have, but now I actually want to try it. I was like, no, this game's probably going to suck, you know, not even going to be worth looking into, and at least it feels super solid to play. Really fun.
So is it a bit like, I can only base it off of Destiny's coming to mind. Ignore all the negatives of Destiny, but the way that you group up and go on missions, is that how it works?
Yep. It's just very much, you've got your social space where other players will be, and then you go out and you kind of just go out into the world and do missions, or there's like a free play mode where you can just go out and do live events or just hunt treasure chests, kill rare elite stuff. But yeah, it's super fun.
Sweet. And you can all, like, combine to, like, a Megazord, right? And
no.
Oh, okay.
The graphics are another thing too. Like, holy hell, this game looks really good. Like, I'm impressed. It's the Frostbite engine, of course, so the same thing Battlefront 2 was on, and Battlefields before it. So yeah, it looks super good. Way better than those janky facial animations from the last
from Andromeda.
Yeah, Andromeda.
Oh god. Thank God we've got all these souped-up consoles.
All right, so into the news. This is going to be a busy week in Blizzard because we've got holiday events and a big patch coming to World of Warcraft all in the same week. So starting off, we've got patch 8.1 dropping in World of Warcraft this week, which brings a lot of different things. First off, one thing that you'd want to know about, major gameplay changes. Not really, but the faction assaults are bringing in the Legion invasion systems that really helped introduce some engaging gameplay to Legion. They're bringing that system here into Battle for Azeroth. So it's going to be exactly the same thing. An entire zone is going to be taken over by this event, and it's either going to be the Horde assaulting the zone and the Alliance defending, or the Alliance assaulting a zone and the Horde defending. And your world quests will change as such, and there'll be increased rewards and different world quests if you're playing in war mode. So if you're Horde, rejoice. If you're Alliance, just stay away from that. There's horrible imbalance right now.
Well, not for long. Not for long.
They're going to try to fix that. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I liked the Legion invasions. I thought they brought a lot of. They switched the gameplay up a lot in Legion, and what I personally liked about them was leveling alts. You could gain pretty much an entire level per invasion if you did it on an alt, and they plan to do the same amount of experience gain per faction assault, so you can kind of do the same thing.
I really love it. I mean, I know we've been talking about waiting for this sort of thing to get our alts in. I certainly have, but I think the reason this feels so great is because there's so many other alt-friendly things coming in at once. It just feels like a breath of fresh air. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good, but also I do like how it's getting us moving around the continents, because I know Legion moved around the same continent, but it's nice to know that you are going to be in enemy territory. And the fact that they're going to, as we'll talk, they're going to incentivize war mode in a really cool way. I think that's going to add a bit more excitement, because Legion invasion missions, kind of, I don't know, they were great for leveling, but they, towards the end, or certainly towards the end, about sort of midway through them becoming a leveling tool, it just felt like you went in, you tagged all your mobs, you dinged the quest in about 50 seconds, and then you just went off again. There was no real engagement. It was like a mosh pit. So I like the idea that it's going to be a bit more, hopefully, edgy. That's if war mode's enabled. Saying that, we could just turn war mode off and not care.
And we know that these aren't going to be like stagnant then for the rest of the expansion either, because then they will be replaced by Naga assaults in 8.2. So it's cool that they're at least going to be changing it up then from what they are.
I'm actually particularly interested because I think I'm about to finish leveling my warrior, and I really want to PvP on him, and because that was the only purpose of me making a warrior. And I always have war mode on, so what this is for me is like, oh cool, there's going to be a concentrated amount of people along this certain area where I can just go murder as many people as possible while also doing my world quests. It's like a twofer. And like,
yeah,
I don't know, I'm excited for them.
Yeah. Another thing, so I mean, we've definitely taken our time and shit on BFA for a couple episodes. I know we hear you. We're done with that again, unless I said like I said last episode. But one good thing that I think we can all agree on that Blizzard has done right with this expansion is storytelling. The storytelling so far has been really well done. Probably the best thing about the expansion, and that is going to continue on in patch 8.1 with the extended war campaign. People who have played it on the PTR, I haven't looked into it because I don't want the spoilers of it, but people who have played it on the PTR say it's really good. The cutscenes are good. Again, the Horde gets story options, which is really cool. So there's more war campaign, good stuff, more extended story. Look forward to seeing that. What else? We're getting the currencies for pretty much everything you can do at the end game. We're getting currencies back. Make currencies great again. And I'm thankful. I mean, like literally everything you do, whether it be Warfronts, whether it be Island Expeditions, whether it be Mythic Plus, you're going to be getting a currency, so you can at least eventually guarantee a reward for yourself for doing the end game content. This has been lacking from World of Warcraft for a long time. What do you guys think? I'm excited to have currencies back.
I think over anything, I'm excited to see what mounts they throw in, and I think that's the was it the Krolisk and the Batwing or something like that? Is that the vendors you're talking about, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who? What?
What? The mounts that
What
they'll
bat?
add? There aren't there mounts?
Well, yeah.
In the
There's
heirloom?
mounts
Of
for
Warcraft.
Oh yeah, the heirloom vendor. Yeah, has a.
Was that not what we were talking about? Sorry, I was staring at him just like, God, I want these mounts.
No, I was just talking about all the vendors. Like, there's vendors for everything now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my bad. I was kind of distracted.
We want the stuff. That's the general
Yeah.
thing. It's great to have currency because we can get the stuff.
right. Yeah, I just think currencies are overall a good assured way that you can work towards a goal instead of just RNG everything.
Totally. And now they just need to bring back DKP for guilds, and then we're there.
Yeah. Oh god.
Come on.
Let's see what.
You all liked it. You all liked it.
No. So we get a new Warfront as well, the Dark Shore Warfront, which definitely shakes up the gameplay a bit. It doesn't feel exactly like the Arathi Highlands one, so that's cool. There's going to be new armor sets out of that, which look really cool. The Undead and the Night Elf sets look really, really cool. So check those out. I'm excited to have another Warfront in the mix. It's still an interesting gameplay concept.
Or fourth? I presume we will get a third and a fourth, but the pace seems to be, one every patch?
That's what we thought, but then they said in an interview that they didn't necessarily have one in the pipeline. So I don't know. I think it all depends on whether or not we get an 8.3. I feel like that's kind of up in the air right now if we're getting a patch after 8.2 or not.
I still feel like it's safe to say that they might, just because I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if they don't, they don't. But I just feel like 2 seems like it doesn't feel like quite enough. Like, I think 3 would make it a nice round number in my mind.
I think the Barrens is where it would be, or maybe something surprising like Goldshire, like the Assault on Goldshire or something like that. That'd be crazy.
I feel like there's enough story to at least warrant 8.3. Like, they can't just...
Right.
Yeah.
We don't want them to pull a Warlords and just abandon ship and start working on the next expansion, but it's possible. Just because they haven't announced it yet. We'll see. Maybe they're just keeping their story really tight-lipped right now.
I think they...
On the...
Oh, sorry, good.
Go on, Chris.
I was going to say that they I think what it really is they want everyone to finish this storyline before revealing what the next storyline is, because then that pulls away from like, ooh, what's going to happen at the end of this, because if you reveal what the next one is without giving the ending of this one, it kind of degrades the value of it, and I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, because I remember talking with the guildies when we were playing Legion. 7.2 had just come out. We just got the Broken Shore, and then Argus went on the PTR like literally days after that, and then it was just like, well, I don't care about this anymore. I just want Argus. So maybe Blizzard's kind of slowing down that pace, like you're saying. They just want people to focus on the current story, what we know, before they start getting everybody hyped up about what's coming next.
I would wager like 2 or 3 weeks after people clear everything into the new patch, and I'm assuming the new raids, they'll be like, hey, look at this, 8.3 is happening, and they'll give us one of those cool videos like they've been doing, and we'll all have shivers and be like, yay, 8.3.
Yeah. Maybe they'll wait until the final wing of LFR unlocks, and they're like, all right, everybody's had a chance to see it.
Yeah, that's true.
What else is coming this patch? Leveling and alt improvements, of course, always nice to have alt improvements. Coming in 8.1, so if you've leveled a character from start to finish in since the leveling changes of last expansion, you would have noticed that the 60 to 80 bracket especially feels like it takes years to get through. That is being dramatically fixed just in time after Icarus already got through it. They're dramatically decreasing the experience required from level to level across the board, from all the way from like 1 to 110, but especially in that 60 to 80 bracket, it's being dramatically reduced.
I feel like the biggest wall that people leveling alts hit is right around the 40s to, what is it? Where does the number hit? 30? The 75? That's the biggest wall, and they're like, all right, cool. Yeah. kill that section of leveling, push him through it. Let's wrap this up.
Well, and part of like the 60 to 100 bracket, they really wanted you to just be able to pick like certain expansions and not have to do the other, but it still didn't work out that way. Like if you just wanted to do Northrend, you'd get all the way through Northrend and be like, oh shit, I either still have to run a bunch of dungeons or I have to do like a tidbit of BC before I can move into Cata. Like, so it just wasn't lining up exactly how they wanted it to. Now you should be able to get all 60 through 80 through Northrend.
I actually didn't run into that problem. Like, it may have been because I was doing dungeons here and there while I was leveling, but I blew through everything but the majority of Ice Crown, and then I was into the next areas. But again, I would guess those dungeons
maybe they're also talking about the lack of heirlooms. Like they wanted to be faster without heirlooms too.
It's like I had max heirlooms, and I also played it so like I always had rested for the level that I was going to be playing through. So I feel like maybe I was riding on more of a handicap than most people are anticipating. It's like rested, heirloom, and changes. Like that's, come on.
Oh, the new changes to XP. I mean, I calculated you can get up to about 285% XP boost. I mean, it's ridiculous right now. It almost feels like too much.
Yeah. It's never too much. They're just preparing people for Classic. They're like, you're going to hate Classic so much, so here, we'll at least make leveling really fast in the live game. Let's see, we got Heritage Armor coming for the Blood Elves and the Dwarves. Both sets look awesome. All that's required is you need Exalted with Silver Moon or Iron Forge. And then you get a little quest line, and then boom, you get some Heritage Armor. Only if you play those races, of course.
I'm sad I don't play Blood Elf. So
oh, right. So do you have to have leveled a Dwarf or a Blood Elf from level 1?
No.
You can't?
No. You just have to have Exalted with their faction, which obviously if you did level a Blood Elf or a Dwarf, you would have Exalted with their faction. If not, go get that.
That's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah. Let's see. They've updated Island Expeditions a little bit, and they've added 2 more, but nothing huge is changing with those. If you don't like Island Expeditions now, you're probably still not going to like Island Expeditions, and if you do like them, then they're getting a little better. And there's, of course, currencies that you can earn from doing them to guarantee some mounts or other stuff. That's pretty much most of what's coming in 8.1. Did I miss anything, guys? Let's see. The Dark Shore will have more world quests, just like Arathi Highlands did, so it'll be easy to gear up your alts, of course, there with new rare mobs and gear. War mode changes. Yeah, what's changing with war mode, Britza?
So what they're trying to do is balance exactly what you referred to earlier, which is the imbalance, I guess, of certain factions. So how you can have loads of Horde players, for example, and I think that's probably more the reality, with War Mode on, and very few Alliance players. Well, what they're going to do now is they will introduce, I think it's called the Enlisted bonus for unrepresented or underrepresented factions. So what that does is that increases the bonus XP for War Mode from 10% to 30%, and carries over to War Resources, Artifact Power, and Gold. So you get 30% of all of those while your faction is underrepresented. I don't know if it like toggles off, because my thinking is that will last for about 15 seconds before everyone activates it, and then it goes. But hopefully it stays on for a little while. But I mean, that's huge. So you've got heirlooms, you've got rested bonus, you've got the potions and the Warfront bonuses that you get, the 10% there, and then this 30% on top. I mean, you're going to level so quickly. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an interesting change. It feels like a weird band-aid to the problem, in my opinion. I don't know. It's like, well, you're getting killed over and over again by a bunch of hordes, so at least increase your experience gain to compensate for the time you're losing.
Even Wowhead referred to it as a bit of a band-aid, so if Wowhead aren't 100% sold, that says something. But
yeah. An interesting thing, it might just make, like you say, a lot of Alliance players turn on War Mode and then it turns off the experience gain right away because now there's more alliance players than there are horde.
And then you're just sitting there surrounded by hordes. Yeah. Shit.
We'll see how that ends up working out overall. Interesting change. Yeah, so definitely check out 8.1 dropping this Tuesday. Obviously after weekly maintenance. Also coming this week, as of course December has started, so we are getting the holiday events in both Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch. Overwatch bringing back Winter Wonderland, new Christmas skins, of course. So far we've seen like Pixie Mercy, Sugar Plum Fairy Mercy, I think that's what it's called. It looks amazing. We've got Grandma Tracksuit Widowmaker. Looks a bit weird. Ice Fox Lucio and Cuddly Bear Zarya so far. Oh, and a Christmas wrap present Bastion. Looks great. Of course, we'll be getting May's Snowball Fight and May's Yeti Hunt back again. May's Yeti Hunt, I love that event. Can't wait to play that again. I'm actually really impressed with the Heroes of the Storm holiday event, like the way they were teasing it, and then of course the video that they announced it with. All those skins look really good. Icarus, why don't you tell us about Heroes?
Yeah, I am super excited. I don't know if I'm excited more for the skins or the fact that they're adding a child announcer, which is a little weird in itself, but I think it's going to be hilarious. Just like the kids saying, like, killing people. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I want announcer packs in Overwatch. Why can't that be a thing?
Are they not a thing?
No.
Do they announce things in, like... It's usually just
Athena
like...
does it.
There's Athena. She, counts stuff down and...
You get a male Athena voice. That's all you get.
Just give me Chris Metzen announcing everything, and I'd be happy.
So, yeah, the Heroes thing. They're adding skins for Dahaka... Dahaka Stitches and Valera. I don't know why, but when I first saw the Stitches skin, I was like, are they making toys for Heroes? Because they already have my money. Yeah, so along with those skins, they're adding a few mounts as well. What looks like a mecha lion of some sorts and a plush unicorn. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to ride a plush unicorn in the battle.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they also added a bunch of portraits and sprays to go along with that. Yeah.
I am getting, like, looking at the Stitcher skins, I'm getting some PTSD from Five Nights at Freddy's. They are a bit too creepy for my liking. But, yeah, I do like them. They're all the skins, I think they're really, really sweet. And even some of the icons, like some of the player icons, I think I'm probably going to go for those more than anything else because I've been stuck with the same one for a year now. So they're pretty sweet.
I hope they give Stitches a voice line for this skin that says, "This Care Bear does share." Just something creepy like that. I don't know. It'd be funny.
Be a bit odd. And here's me still hoping that we get a new Tracer skin this event, and we probably won't. Blizzard has shunned Tracer. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Tracer has been shunned for like a year without getting a new skin in Overwatch. Aside from that Atlantic All-Stars skin, which looked ridiculous.
Okay, I want you to go into Overwatch after this.
I know she has the most unlocks of any other
Okay.
hero.
Calm yourself.
But it's still been over a year since they've given her something worthwhile. Come on.
I agree with you, but I think it's very hard to argue that Tracer is not getting love from Overwatch.
I mean, they put Brigitte in the game
game
just to nerf her.
Yeah, true.
We can't tone down her skills anymore, so let's just put a hero in that completely destroys her.
I mean, is it that they're just trying to give more winter skins to characters who haven't had as many winter skins? Like, is that how it works? Did
Typically,
Lucio not have a winter skin?
What happens when every hero gets a winter skin? Because they usually give like 2-3 out a year, right?
Yeah, but so I mean, like Reaper has 2 Halloween skins, for example. So he's got his pumpkin head and he's got the vampire. So
Yeah, but isn't just the vampire one without the pumpkin head?
no,
No, it actually looks more different. No, that's so mean of me.
So I mean, it is possible to have different skins, but for the same event. We'll see. I don't know. People have been saying that Overwatch is running stale anyway, so they'll need to shake it up eventually. Speaking of Overwatch, this isn't in our notes, but there was a recent interview with Jeff Goodman, who's the lead hero designer. He was talking with some Overwatch streamer that they had on campus, and he briefed the streamer asked him, "Are we getting more healers? We maybe need a main healer in the lineup right now," and he said, "Yes, the main healer is in the very near future." So if Hero 30 isn't a main healer, it'll probably be Hero 31. So my thoughts to you guys is, what could you see being another main healer gameplay type in Overwatch?
I don't know if this is just me and wanting this because I've always wanted it, but I hope they add a hero whose heal is like a 1 to 2, I'd say like a 0.5 second cast of some sort, where it's not just like the more you click it, the faster it goes. It's like they charge it up and then throw it out, but it's basically chain heal, something of that nature. So it benefits your team from like having a frontline cluster together and then push, rather than have everyone spread out to avoid AoE damage.
Like Overwatch Rhaegar.
Yeah, basically.
With the last two healers we got, Brigitte and Moira, we got a big emphasis on the healer DPSing. Me personally, I'd want to see a pullback from that and have a healer that's main role is supporting the team, not being offensive, but more a defensive type character that does buffs and heals, maybe even has a shield. I'm assuming that new healer is going to be Echo, that we saw McCree's magic toy box that he opened at the end of the cinematic. She looked like a healer to me. I don't know.
That would make a lot of sense.
We'll see. Let's see. Moving on, Britza, you had an interesting topic that you wanted to discuss this week.
Yeah, and I guess it coincidentally, now you were talking about Jeff Kaplan and some recent news, and I guess this kind of bounces off some other news, which is that Overwatch won, was it eSports Game of the Year at the Game Awards?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was last year, wasn't it? Fortnite won.
Was that last year? Oh, did it? Where am I getting that story from? Okay, Overwatch didn't win it this year, apparently. So yeah, screw Overwatch. Never mind. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. This is not segueing off current news then. But I was reading, trying to find some StarCraft news to see if anything was happening in the StarCraft front. Because do you remember like when DeepMind came out on stage at BlizzCon, and I don't know. It felt like there was a lot of StarCraft potential news that hasn't really come out down the line. You know, you think about how the coverage they got at this year's BlizzCon, they were there but not really there. So I was trying to figure out if there's anything happening in the background. And what I did stumble across was that there's a pretty good StarCraft league going on at Michigan State University, and this is the original StarCraft, not StarCraft 2, the original StarCraft. And without going into the depths of the article, we'll share it in the show notes, so check it out. What this made me wonder is that there seems to be a real love of older games. You know, we talked about Korea, like StarCraft was more popular in Korea than StarCraft 2. South Korea, I guess I should say. Well,
it could be more popular in North Korea.
It could be. We'll never know. We'll never know. But it made me wonder, well, with Blizzard games getting the Reforged treatment and else, there's kind of a push to play newer versions of the games, but it seems like the older versions tend to be really popular with local leagues. So I guess the question is do you think we could see esports going a bit more nostalgic and bringing up older games? You know, whether it's the older Warcraft 3s or, you know, here it's the original StarCraft, or I couldn't think of any games off the top of my head that are older, like maybe at least 8 years
Halo
old,
3.
10 years old. Halo 1, yeah, the original Halo or something like that. Halo 3, I guess, would fit into it. But what do you think? And it's not necessarily restricted to Blizzard games, but do you think esports will eventually turn to older games and say, we want to support leagues for those more cherished, nostalgic games that people still love?
I like the idea of it, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I feel like all the examples you gave were very they were all front runners to leading to competitive gameplay. Like a lot of the competitive players now and Twitch stars, they were all old Halo players, oddly enough. Or like StarCraft literally was like, we are now the competitive PC game. So like
it's not like necessarily that StarCraft is being brought back. It's more that StarCraft Brood War really didn't go away, especially in Korea. Like it just always dominated, and even when StarCraft 2 came out, people were still playing Brood War. So we may see a resurgence, like you say, here in America, but I don't think Brood War ever went away. And as far as like bringing back other old games, like if they were suddenly to have just like Halo 2 Halo 2 Global League out of nowhere, like I don't think it would happen.
It does sound weird off the tongue. I do agree.
If anything, there are already leagues that are playing nowadays, and since they started, those leagues would then get more light than they previously would have gotten. I think that's the only way for that situation to happen. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And we see it happen. Like there's Twitch channels that will have big tournaments for like Smash Bros. Melee, like still arguably the best Smash Brothers game. It's a GameCube game that came out a long time ago, and there's still tournaments on Twitch for it. So like it happens. Do I see it taking over the mainstream? No. People want new stuff, not old stuff brought back. For mainline.
That's fair enough. I guess though, like if we look at Warcraft 3 Reforged though,
right?
Like, kind of expanding it. Do you think Blizzard's going to try and turn that into the WCS equivalent?
I doubt it. I'm sure they'll have tournaments, but
I'm sure they will have tournaments, but I don't think it'll have like a big stage like StarCraft ever will, because I think the paces of the games are different. Like I think the early game in Warcraft is dramatically slower than StarCraft, because then it's basically like, all right, who can gather as much resources and kind of like hold a line while also provoking the enemy so they can't be as strong for this final fight. Like that's how I think most Warcraft games went for me. But then again, that's a very jaded perspective because it's all my childhood memories of that. So I mean, it's here nor there.
I do see your point, because the StarCraft 2 games that I think have been the most impressive are the ones where you've seen units literally twitching because placement is going to change so quickly. And I do see, I don't think you can get that level of quick placement with Warcraft 3. The units do move quite slowly by comparison to Protoss units and things like that. So I can see that. But it sounds like we're all pretty agreed then. Oh, I say pretty agreed. I wasn't sure I was agreed, but older games, probably we're not going to see spin-off major support for spin-off leagues into older games, like particularly with Blizzard games, maybe Warcraft 3, right. The Brood War scene that isn't already there, maybe.
I mean, with that being said, if we go to the next BlizzCon and there is a stage that's like, hey, we're having a Warcraft 3 or 4 tournament, I may just be like, I'm gonna get some lunch and go sit there and watch and see how that goes, because it'd be entertaining to watch a couple times, but not to be like for a series. Like a series is just like, ugh. Like I have a hard time sitting through like an Overwatch series just because reasons.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to the 2019 Global Baldur's Gate League. It's really gonna take off. It's gonna surpass Overwatch League for sure. Speaking of Overwatch League, they've been revealing a lot of the skins for the new teams over this last week, and the Washington Justice is amazing, very America. It's red, white, and blue as their team colors.
French colors, then.
Yes, the French colors. And they've released the schedule for the first week of Overwatch League 2, and Shanghai Dragons actually have a chance of winning their first game in the Overwatch League because they're playing the new Chinese team in the first week.
Okay.
So we'll see. That'll be interesting.
Go
on.
No, I was going to say, I think the fact we segued says that the older games probably aren't going to get a spin-off. But I guess it's good to see that like local leagues like Michigan State's, and I know there are loads of others. Alice Saunders pointed out quite a few to us that are still supporting these older games. So I guess that's cool. But yeah, maybe not the main stage at BlizzCon. That's
definitely.
That's fair enough.
And Overwatch League is in 2 months from now. I am super hyped for OWL Season 2. I hope.
Who do you even support now?
Hey, they don't
Dallas
like
Fuel all the way.
They don't like you calling it Owl.
Don't care. It is the Owl.
Just for record, did you just say you were voting for the Outlaws there, Tarly?
No, Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, you should vote for the Outlaws. They're better.
No. No.
We'll
No.
beat you.
Have we still only got? Have we still only got 2 European teams? Is it still just Paris and London?
Yep, I think so. I mean, there's a just Paris and London.
Why
But
is
hey,
it-
at least you got Paris now.
I'm a little shocked
There's a
that
Canada team.
Wait, Canada has a team, but Germany doesn't have a team? That seems weird to me.
I could have sworn, actually, now that I think about it, I thought there was a European team, like an EU team specifically, but now I can't
I don't know,
remember.
but it's just weird that London and Paris. I know I completely get it staggered, and a year from now there'll be loads of European teams, and it won't matter. I won't
And
even care.
there should be more localization too. I mean, because it doesn't necessarily matter. Like you look at the New York Excel, they're all Koreans, so it's not like it's a team of New Yorkers, right?
Hey, it's Korean American. Don't be a dick.
Anyway, so one last thing before we move into the 20 questions. The Game Awards did happen this last week. Was there anything that you guys found exciting out of the Game Awards?
I heard Overwatch didn't win eSport Game of the Year.
I could be wrong. Let me double check because I'm pretty
check
sure it was Fortnite.
I swear I saw that on a news thing. That's kind of what prompted it in my head. That I don't know. Maybe I see.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that was going on. Although I probably wouldn't have watched it either way.
I mean the
No,
like,
it was Overwatch. You're right.
Da-da!
You're correct.
Vindicated.
Overwatch did win eSport Game of the Year.
Vindicated.
All right.
The
Well
fact
deserved.
the fact that we're not 100% sure says a lot, probably. To be honest.
Yeah. See what I took away from the Game Awards was I was more looking at announcements, and for me, I don't know if you guys saw the Outer Worlds announcement, but it's a new RPG coming from Obsidian, who made the original Fallout games, who made the Knights of the Old Republic 2, and who made Fallout New Vegas. Is now has their own RPG. Looks like it takes place in some outer world space area. It looks very much like Fallout meets Borderlands.
Yeah. So that's a good description. You're on the edge of the universe, so to speak.
Yeah. And it's just a completely new first-person RPG from the makers of Fallout New Vegas. And I said this to Icarus in our private chat. I'm pretty sure they saw what was happening with Fallout 76 and like, make a trailer. We're announcing our game now. Let's take advantage of this. Let's go.
I prompted him with a GIF that I don't know if we should share, but it's really funny. It's a bunch of people shouting at other people saying don't pre-order, and then one guy walks into the room and says I pre-order, and then they push him and throw their hats at him.
Yeah. So just keep in mind with the current state of gaming, don't pre-order anything these days. Wait for reviews. But I'm a bit excited for this game. Was there any other announcements that you guys saw from the Game Awards?
I didn't watch it. I'm sorry.
I think the
Crash Bandicoot Racing remaster. That's coming.
Crash Bandicoot.
No,
I
please
saw that.
no.
It's happening.
I think one of the oddest announcements. Well, I said the oddest. This thing I'm hyped for, but I'm weird. It's weird that I'm hyped for it. Was that Persona 5's Joker is going to be a DLC character for Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is the weirdest thing ever because Smash Bros. Ultimate was not even on my it wasn't my radar. I knew of it, but I was never going to buy it. I haven't got this time for it. Anything
Now you're
involved.
buying it.
Now I'm buying it.
You don't have a Switch.
Well, that's it. It's not even on my consoles. So now I'm like, I've got to
It's
pick
weird
up a
to me
Switch.
that Persona 5's not on Switch, yet that character's coming. Like, you'd think they should at least put Persona 5 on the Switch, right?
I would love to see it. I think it's a game that could reasonably go on the Switch.
Absolutely. You can fit Diablo 3 on a Switch. You fit Skyrim on a Switch. I think you can fit Persona 5. I mean, it's a big game, but, like, graphically speaking, You can make.
Yeah, it's not
the Switch.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like Fallout 76 on Ultimate.
You may need to buy a 128 gig SD card just to store that game, but whatever.
Please. So yeah, it turns out I'm buying a Switch.
Yes, welcome to the party. You might as well just get the Smash bundle because it comes with custom Joy-Cons and a custom dock in it. It's cool.
But I have to say that is either DLC done right or horribly wrong, in so much that DLC has made me buy a console, a game, and the DLC. I don't know whether I'm disgusted and fearful or
I would say that's
ecstatic.
Done
right. Yeah,
It's
that's
probably
done
done
right.
right.
That's good marketing.
All right. Just mumbling while I try to find my Sounders folder. Britza, give us a distraction.
So, anyways, in the basement of this manga thing.
Wait, I actually have a valid question. I have a question for you. Did you go to a ramen shop while you were there?
I did.
Was it delicious?
Yeah, it was all right. I think.
Oh.
I think there are places where I could, like, the thing about Japan is you go into one place and it's all right food, and if I looked around the corner, I probably would have found like the most authentic equivalent I can imagine. So I think I just walked into rolled the dice wrong.
How did you not get good ramen in Japan?
I don't know. But I'm very glad that like the first thing I ate when I arrived in Tokyo, horrendously sleepy, was not McDonald's or KFC.
Are we going to just call you Sleepy Britza now?
Well, I feel like I am still getting over the jet lag. But anyways, that's besides the point. You were looking for sounders.
Well, I found the sounder. It's time for Blizzard. It's time for Blizzard 20 questions.
Geeks of Azeroth, the moment has arrived. Have you studied the lore? Studied the lore? I am the lore! It's time for Blizzard 20 questions.
That's right, it's time for Blizzard 20 questions. This time Icarus has the answer again. I'm terrified. It's probably going to be difficult as hell. So, let the questioning begin.
I'm still rusty.
Hey Siri,
on this
set a timer for 10 minutes.
thing.
There we go.
Rapid fire. Let's go. 2 minutes.
Siri, what's the answer? How do we? I'm still a bit rusty.
Is this from Warcraft?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a character?
No.
Not a character.
Is this an item?
It is not an item.
Is this a location?
It is a location.
Ooh.
Okay, alright.
Goldshire and Moonguard.
Has this location been in the game since vanilla?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, we're
Goldshire Moonguard.
Hey, that is referred to Pornshire. It is a separate location.
Yeah. Complete side note. Apparently, you have to go there on Christmas Day to see some really weird roleplay.
I'd highly avoid it if I were you.
No, I've already seen the pit of hell. I'm going to go in there. Okay. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's go.
Is this a location visited in Warcraft 3?
Ooh, that's
Asking the hard questions.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
But I would put that as a definite maybe.
To be honest, a lot of the places visited in Warcraft 3 haven't even been seen yet. Like Broken Isles was only last expansion.
Actually, confirmed no.
Okay, not in Warcraft.
Okay.
Is this an instance?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're miles ahead now. Is this instance? Oh no, because it's not really now. Is this instance I was going to, Charlie. How do I say it? I was going to say it's exclusive to a particular faction. You know, like Wailing Caverns is really a horde thing, but it's not a horde thing anymore.
Let's narrow down. Is this instance on Kalimdor?
No. Damn it, you guys are being really smart about this.
Well, Charlie's been really smart. I think I'm very much the fifth wheel on the car.
Well, I know you narrowing it down just kind of doomed it.
Yeah. Did this instance get changed after the Cataclysm?
Yes.
God almighty, Charlie. Where have you got good at this?
I think so.
What Eastern Kingdom dungeon that got changed after the Cataclysm? That's
Well, first one that comes to mind is Dead Mines.
Oh, Dead Mine's true.
Whoa. It's an instance. I didn't say it was a dungeon.
Oh, fair play. Is this a raid?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Why would I say
You raised a question. I knew that's...
Why would it be?
Yes! Alright, cool.
I had to throw one away. We're doing too good. I had to throw one away.
I just gotta get you with 11
it
more.
could potentially be a battleground as well, but...
True, it could be
unlikely.
a battleground. But, look at Alterac Valley. That shit's never changed.
Right. I mean, like, the play style of Alterac Valley has changed, but it hasn't actually changed like the dungeons have had.
It's been
nuances
graphically
like
updated. That's a change.
that. Okay, is it a battleground?
No.
Okay.
Yes,
There,
got two
that out of-
questions from him.
All right, is this dungeon accessible before level 30?
Yes.
Okay. Apparently I can't spell accessible.
Two S's.
So, I think Dead Mines is probably at the forefront, but you've also got...
What's the zone that Dead Mines is in? Just so we can... Especially, what is that zone? I can't
that's
remember.
Westfall.
Is this in Westfall?
Yes.
Okay, is it Dead Mines?
Yes.
All right. There we go. Look at that.
To
That
be
was
honest,
done in 15 questions.
It's weird. You either get mine really quickly or not at all.
I did try and sabotage him, Icarus. I did try and throw us under the bus.
Like, the second you were like, let's just narrow down if it's on Calendar or Easter Kingdom, I was like, oh, damn it, they're not going to go down the rabbit hole of expansions, because I had so many questions for that. Good job. Looks like we're kicking it back up to hard.
Yep, I guess next week we're going to have to go super hard mode. All right, that about does it for this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and right here on twitch.tv/Geeks of Azeroth every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock Pacific time. You can find us on Twitter. Join the conversation like many of you already have at Geeks of Azeroth, and you can find me personally at Tarly, or no, at Epic Geeks Tarly. I can never remember my handle. Britza, where can we find you?
You can find me at Britzer_EG.
And Icarus.
You could find me here next week. Sorry, I really
And of
wanted
course,
to do that.
Send all your fan mail, hate mail, pictures of your Christmas sweaters. Send all of that to geeksofazerotheg@gmail.com, including your 20 question suggestions. We may use it on the show if it is cancer enough. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.